Have you ever come across players that have a ridiculously high amount of playtime yet are really underprogressed? And at the same time you have other players that have barely any playtime but a ridiculous amount of progression. Now most players sit somewhere in the middle. But let me tell you, there are some really extreme cases. The great thing about Hypixel Skyblock is there's so many paths to take. There isn't just one singular route that you have to take to actually achieve what you want to achieve, because there's so many things to achieve. Progression is different for everyone, relative to what they want to achieve, maybe how good they are at the game, and so on. But if you have a ton of playtime and barely any progression at all, then obviously something's going wrong. Likewise, if you have hardly any playtime but a ton of progression, you're doing something that a lot of people don't know about, because how are you doing that so quickly? If you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS. It gets yourself 5% off. Today we try to uncover why both of these situations occur. Now you might think, well, how are you even going to decipher why people are ridiculously underprogressed or overprogressed? Well, for some people it may maintain a mystery. However, I feel like a lot of the actual answers are in the profile itself. Well, in my Discord server, I asked the question. I asked if anybody has any scuffed profiles or knows of any, either good, well, scuffed in a good way or scuffed in a bad way. For example, let's take a look at Pinay. Okay, this is someone from the Discord who's given me an account. Okay, so first of all, just to make you aware, they're 40 days into the profile. Okay, so they started this profile 40 days ago. They have 4.7 billion net worth, which is pretty good for a 40-day-old profile, right? The skill average could be better, but for a 40-day-old profile, you know, pretty good. They already have an Atom Split and a Juju and a Flower of Truth. Holy... The Necron set is pretty damn good, I can't lie at all. And of course, I feel like at this point, if you don't have a Crimson set of any sort, then what are you doing? Now that's good. That is good magical power for a 40-day-old profile. Most people don't even have that much magical power. But on a 40-day-old profile, this guy must be doing something right. Maybe he's just been non-stop playing. Is that a... Oh, it's a 655, but even so, that's really not too bad going. Yeah, for a 40-day-old profile, this is pretty cracked, so I've got to give it to you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, become part of the 25%, there's no reason not to. Also, you should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of every single video. On the other hand, we have somebody like Lag is Fun. Level 179 with a 3.5 billion net worth, okay. Skill average of 41. I want you to guess how many hours he's got on this profile. He's got Squash Armor, any armor sets of note, really? Shark Scale, Sorrow, Final Destination, Necron, Warden Helmet, and that looks to be about it. He's got a Soul Whip, a Giant Sword, an Atom Split Katana, and a Terminator, and 602 magical power. If you guessed 3k hours, then you would be correct. I mean, that is a lot of hours. That is a lot of playtime, and by all means his profile isn't bad. However, for 3k hours, that is, yeah, I don't know. It could be worse. Imagine being Dazza. Skyblock level 83, YouTube rank. Well, let's see, Combat 29. Has a Storm set and then walks around with an Iron Sword to make himself look like he has a Hyperion. Net worth of 1.6 billion. Like... Magical power of 313 on a 4-year-old profile. Wow. How can you be Spider Slayer 3 on a 4-year-old profile? You might be thinking, oh well, his profile might be 4 years old, but maybe he just doesn't play the game. Well, I mean, he still uploads videos of bizarre flipping. Usually enchanted to catch the screen. Now this one is very interesting, okay? This one is Skyblock level 121, 304 million net worth, with what's got to be one of the most scuffed setups I've ever seen. 3/4 Shadow Assassin with Storm. A Livid Dagger and a Spirit Scepter, with a magical power of 295. Okay. Yeah. I don't know this guy's exact playtime because he hasn't said, but apparently he's been playing the game for 3 years. That is actually quite impressive. I'd say this profile is relatively scuffed, however, I see so many profiles that have been suggested in my suggestions here that are very, very similar to this one. A Skyblock level of between 150 to 200, a net worth of between 1 and 2 billion, with around about 1,500 hours playtime. Skill average of 35 with a Necron setup with max of boots. Magical power of 540. Yeah, it is a little bit scuffed, but I feel like this is not so uncommon. Alright, okay, this is the definition of a scuffed profile. This profile is... yeah, I don't know what to say about this one, okay. Skyblock level 76. Net worth of 1.7 billion, which is pretty good. Skill average of 24, however, he created the profile 4 years ago. And has 140 hours playtime. Gemstone Gauntlet, Divine Armor, Frozen Blaze, Melon Armor, Sorrow. It's just so odd. Just such an odd profile. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, this guy here, Confused Villager, is level 33. Joined 2 months ago. And has a 1.6 billion net worth with 5k senator weight. Nearly 6k at level 33. What has this guy been doing? He has a golder set with the Gonzo mask. This is so strange. There's a Wither Cloak. They have a weapon. 115 magical power. He has a legendary blue whale. I guess this guy... Okay, I'm not going to look, but I am going to look. But I guess this guy just does dungeons. It's got to be. Sure, he's just a tank. Let's see. Kata 44, tank 42. Yeah. This is such an odd profile. As I said before, you can do whatever you want in Skyblock, and this guy's literally done nothing other than be a tank in dungeons, which is, I guess, each to their own. Skill average of 9, no fairy souls, and his highest level is combat 20. Yeah, this is scuffed. This is the definition of scuffed. Maybe. Now, honestly, I'm struggling to find profiles that are scuffed in a good way. As for the players who have high playtime and not much progression, most of the time it's just new players who don't really know what to do. And that's the bottom line. I mean, some of the time a lot of people AFK a lot, which makes the playtime way more inflated than it should be for the progression. Or a lot of the time when people say they're actually playing Skyblock, this is what they actually do. This exactly. Oh, maybe they'll go over here, teleport around a bit, but not really do much. And that's because a lot of people say that they get bored of the game, but don't actually try to do anything. But maybe that's because they're bored. You see, I think Skyblock can send people in a bit of a vicious cycle. They get bored of the game, but they still continue to play it. But when they actually play it, because they're bored and they don't know what to do, they don't do anything, which makes them even more bored, which makes them dislike the game. On the other hand, for those people who have really good profiles relative to their playtime, usually it's not the first profile. There will be some exceptions, people who just pick the game up straight away, but that's not the reality for most people. A lot of the time, players learn from the mistakes that they've made on previous profiles to make a different profile look even better. And realistically, that's the bottom line. There aren't many new players to the game that just instantly start doing really well and progress really quickly and know what they're doing. It's just very rare to see. And that's understandable because there's not really any other game like Skyblock. There's so much to it and there's so much to learn. If we take 30 Virus' Iron Man series that he plays on as an example, right? Honestly, I haven't really watched it, so I don't really know what's going on in that profile at all, or that series. But from what I heard, I think he claims that he has like relatively quick progression, or good progression for his playtime. Now, if he hadn't played Skyblock before, do you think he'd be able to progress like he can? Absolutely not. No chance. And it's one of those situations where, you know what? I play Skyblock. I don't like farming too much, but it's manageable. I really dislike fishing. I hate fishing. I despise it. I can't stand it. So I don't fish. So, in terms of my profile, my playtime to fishing is absolutely shocking. But I don't really care because it's a game at the end of the day. And if I can't play a game and enjoy it, then what's the point in playing it? You know, I'm not going to sit here fishing if I don't enjoy it. It's pointless. Like, at that point, I might as well do something else. And to those people who do really have really scuffed profiles, if you still enjoy playing the game, then who really cares? Anyway, I think that just about wraps up today's video. Let me know in the comments, do you have a scuffed profile? Is it terrible? Or is it really good? Who knows? If you did enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.